Well, we're back at it. Thought I would just fill in the thread a little bit with what's going on with the truck. The floor was essentially missing all underneath here because that's where the gas tank sits. And rats got in through the filler tube and built nests in there, and the urine rotted the bottom of the tanks right out and then rotted out the floor. So we patterned out the well that sits underneath, and I just faked the beads in it. I've got a little bit of work to do back here. I've got to redo that. I replaced that piece. This piece here I've got to roll. It's nice and easy because it's only like a 3/8 step down right here and then a turn. So I can do that by hand and set it down by hand. I'm doing everything in 18 gauge. The floor is really solid. Like, you can walk across it, it does not move. A lot of it was when I put this arch back in place. So what I did was I made this section by itself and put it over top. So you notice that the metal sits out in front here. What I'm going to do is go and cut between every single one with the disc and then tip this back in to meet here. So once I get those two aligned, I'll put tacks, and then I can go back and, like, I'm going to do a section here, a section there, a section there, and then do the ones in between. So that'll be all nice and flush. These ones, it goes right over to the floor, so I'm going to just probably weld those and grind it out. They do not make replacement panels from here back. So this line right here is where the actual seat pedestal sits, and the seat sits on top of it and the gas tank inside. They don't make these pieces. They will make a front, left and right, drivers and passengers, and I can get that from here up in one piece. It will save me a lot of work to actually not have to rebuild all of this and the seam in the middle. So I may get those. The only other real parts that I have to replace are the cab corners. I can buy new cab corners, and then the doors, I'm gonna have to fabricate door bottoms and door skins. So I'll fabricate a skin, and then the bottom itself is missing about 1.5 inches. But it should be pretty easy because it's a very, very slight bend. So I'll fold over the seam and the hem seam and then bend it by hand. But the front pieces I'm not even going to bother. I had made a spot. I had cut out, I've got a spot here that's real ugly. So I had cut out a patch to go in. But then I still have to do all of this corner. So I'm not going to bother. I'm going to just try and buy the piece, and it goes right up above the pedals to this line here. So if I can get those, if they make them here in Northern Ontario, I think it's 141 bucks for each side, and the cab corners are I think 80 bucks each. But all I really need is the corner over to here. This piece should be pretty easy to make because the radius is the same as a piece of square pipe. So, and I've got a piece of square pipe the same thickness as this, so I can literally just put the square pipe in a vise and roll it over. But that's where we stand right now with the 47 project. I want to keep the cab sealed as long as I can, but there are a whole bunch of cracks and like dents. You can't see it because it's in the shadow right now. Bad time to take a video. From people, it was a grain truck, and from loading shit into it and just hitting the back of the cab. So I've got to remove this rear window. It's pretty much removing itself. The what used to be rubber has receded back past the lip, so I could literally push that out with my fingers right now, but I want to keep as much of the range as I can out of it. So I'm going to leave that for now until the floor is done and painted. Also, inside the cab has these rails And all they do is just hold the rear window and give the back of the cab shape, as well as this. But they have come unwelded from the door frame itself on this side, so I'll have to clamp those back and Jordan can weld those. I am not gonna make a mess of that. After that, you can see that the seam up there has rotted. I have no idea how to fix that. Anybody that can give me some advice is much appreciated. On the outside it looks like this, but you saw the light coming through, so these both turn in and then were spot welded together. Part of me is fucking lazy and I'm gonna just wire wheel it and then lead joint the whole thing, fill it with lead. Wire wheel and rust inhibitor, but that's not going to give me very much strength. Anybody that's got any ideas, let me know. And that's it. Thanks, man.